which wasn't unusual, except he was completely sober and looked destroyed. He said he'd ended things with Becca because she asked him to choose between California with her or staying near me, and he couldn't do it. I told him he was an idiot for ruining his future over a friendship, and he said that was the problem. I wasn't just his friend and hadn't been for years. Then he kissed me. I pulled back from the kiss and my whole body felt like it was shaking. Leo was staring at me with this look on his face that was scared and hopeful at the same time, and I couldn't breathe right. We just crossed a line that we could never uncross, and I knew it. My brain was trying to find the perfect thing to say, but all that came out was asking if he really broke up with Becca for me. He nodded like it was the most obvious answer in the world, and I felt my stomach flip. We sat there on my apartment steps, not touching, just looking at each other, and I could hear my heart beating in my ears. His hair was messy, and he had this tired look around his eyes like he hadn't slept in days. I wanted to kiss him again and run away at the same time. We ended up going inside and sitting on opposite ends of my couch because I was too scared to be close to him. The whole night we just talked without touching at all. Leo told me he'd been in love with me since sophomore year of high school when I showed up to his baseball game with the flu because I'd promised I'd be there. He said he convinced himself it was just friendship because I never seemed interested in him that way. I sat there listening and feeling like an idiot because I'd spent years telling everyone we were basically siblings, when apparently we both knew better. When it was my turn, I admitted that Daniel was right about me being in love with someone else. I told Leo I just couldn't admit it was him until he kissed me tonight. We talked until the sun started coming up through my window, and at some point we both fell asleep on the couch with our feet almost touching in the middle. Raina came home the next morning and found us like that, fully dressed and passed out. She took one look at us and started demanding to know what happened. I was still half asleep when I told her Leo and I kissed, and she actually screamed so loud my neighbor banged on the wall. She kept saying everyone had been waiting for this since we were kids and she knew it would finally happen. Her reaction made the whole thing feel real in a way that scared me, because now other people knew, and there was no taking it back. Raina made us coffee and sat there grinning while Leo and I avoided looking at each other. She asked when our first date was, and I realized we hadn't even talked about what this meant. Leo left to go change clothes and Raina told me I looked happy and terrified, which was exactly right. Leo texted me later asking if I wanted to get coffee near campus like an actual date. I said yes, even though my hands were shaking typing it. We met at this coffee shop we'd been to 100 times before, but suddenly everything felt different and weird. I kept catching myself falling into best friend mode, telling him about my design project and asking about his engineering lab, then remembering we were supposed to be romantic now. I knocked over my coffee twice because I was so nervous, and the second time it spilled all over the table and Leo jumped up to grab napkins. Walking back to campus, he reached for my hand and I let him take it. His hand felt warm and familiar and completely wrong at the same time, like we were playing pretend in someone else's relationship. I kept thinking about how I'd held his hand 1,000 times before when we were kids, but this was different, and I didn't know how to be different with Leo. A week went by and we were still trying to figure out how to be together instead of just friends. Leo came over to study and mentioned I should look for graphic design jobs near his school after graduation. I felt something snap inside me and told him I wasn't Becca, and I wouldn't rearrange my whole life just because he decided we were together now. He looked hurt and said he just wanted us in the same city, but I could hear